from all around the world, from Ghana, from India, from Mexico, from here in the UAE, from Honolulu, from Ethiopia. It's a very international and very interspiritual panel that we'll be sharing today. So thank you for everyone who's here live in the room, and for those who may be watching the live stream as well. Very, very welcome. So we're going to begin today with some prayers, and I will just take a moment to introduce the panelists, and then we will do the prayers. So we have Ambassador Mussie Hailu from Ethiopia, the United Religions Initiative, and the URI Africa. He is the regional director. Ambassador Mussie, thank you very much. We have Miss Audrey Kitagawa, who is the chairman and founder of the International Academy for Multicultural Cooperation. Miss Audrey, please make her feel welcome and special. We have Mr. Surender Singh Kandhari, who's been our host here, a local one, and an amazing one at that. And Mr. Kandhari, along many other achievements, was involved in bringing the first Gurdwara here in the Middle East, the Gurunanak Gurdwara, of which he is the chairman and president as well. Thank you. And then we have, I'm very honored to have Xiye Bastida, who is here with us. And Xiye is a young and dynamic leader. Many of you might know Xiye already because of her global activism. So we're very honored to be here. Originally, we had Mindahi Bastida on the panel, but he had to return home because of the loss of his beloved mum and Xiye's grandmother. So it's very special to have you here today. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you, thank you. We have Sheikh Salman Chishty, who is a revered spiritual leader from India, from Ajmer Shareef, and the Chishty Foundation, an incredible heritage of spiritual unity and benevolence. And we're so very honored to have you here with us, brother. So please, Mr. Salman Chishty. And we have Rocky Dawuni from Ghana. So Rocky, the musician, activist, and all-round change maker, also very honored to have you with us here, brother, to share your messages today. Mr. Rocky Dawuni, thank you. Okay, so Miss Audrey, without further ado, let's begin in a good way with a prayer.
Thank you so much, Ben, and thank you so much, everyone. And let us pray. All praise and all glory be unto thee, O Lord, the giver of life and all good and perfect gifts. We praise you and glorify you in your most sacred and holy name, and thank you for this precious gift of immortal, eternal light. In all ways, O Lord, shine your light upon us and upon our sacred pathway as we journey back home to you. You, the divine creator of all there is, from whom we have all arisen, to whom we shall all return, and with whom we are eternally in union with at all times. We ask that you will enlighten our hearts, our minds, and our spirits, that whatever we may do and unfold in this venue for this convening of COP28, that you will guide us with your light, and may the power of your love that is within our hearts shine forth brightly as beacons of hope and light and inspiration to all those whose lives we touch. Thank you for this precious opportunity to bring all of us together, and may we be in remembrance of you in all ways with deepest gratitude and appreciation. Amen, amen, and amen.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم صل على سيدنا ونبينا مولانا محمد وعلى آل محمد وأجمعين وسلام المرسلين ورحمة للعالمين. Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon all of you. May we begin with the blessing of the beloved, that this intentions, noble intention that brought us together, lead us to those constructive, to those foundational aspects that we all feel in our heart. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. So, friends, we will begin now the panel. Each of the panelists will begin with an opening 5-minute presentation, and then we will go into a more interactive dialogue after that, and we'll be looking also for contributions from the audience. Professor Peter Blaise Corcoran is here with us today, who also has a statement. So let's get into it. Mr. Kandhari, you are kicking us off.
Thank you, Ben. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this session. As we just said the prayer now, my subject is also the power of the prayer. The power of the prayer can move the earth. More things are wrought by prayer than this world can dream of. The word prayer itself is so powerful, we don't need to say the power of the prayer. Thank you. But I believe one thing, our spiritual leader, Gurunanak Dev-ji, 554 years ago, he always said one thing. When people asked him, which is the best religion? He said, the prayer is the best religion. You pray in any language, any religion, anything you say in a prayer, that powerful prayer brings your dreams come true. And the best religion is today, we're discussing, is prayer. Let us all forget our egos, let us forget all our evils and think positively, pray to the Lord, pray for happiness in this world, and make this a happy world. Prayer is more than a ritual. A lot of people say the prayers in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and anytime they're in difficult situation, they always pray. But I want to ask a question. Do people understand the prayer? Very few understand the prayer. They say the prayer as a routine, as a ritual, but I want to tell you that we must try to understand the prayer, follow the prayer, and implement the prayer. Because in the prayer, you have everything crystal clear. And whatever you dream of today, it is all answered by your prayers. And once you pray, you can never fail. And you know, when everyone has been a kid at one time, and when you sleep on a Sunday morning, you don't want to be woken up. And then your mother comes and says, come on, son, wake up. It's already 9 o'clock in the morning. She removes the sheets. She disturbs your sleep. You groan. But then you must realize that that morning has awakened you, has given you life for one more day. So you should be grateful to God for opening your eyes in the morning and start the day with a small prayer by thanking the Lord that has given you one more day of life. Because nobody has seen tomorrow. So I always believe we should pray and enjoy today. We should begin our day always with a prayer, meditation, expressing our gratitude for the new day, acknowledging the blessings and mercies bestowed upon us. Inner strength is God's gift. One can depend on our own strength by being grateful and thankful to the Lord Almighty. Without His grace, without His order, nothing in this universe can move. One of the remarkable aspects of prayer is its universality. Everywhere in the world, every corner of the world, the same prayer is said by many, many people in different languages. And this prayer can, regardless of culture or religious differences, can transcend boundaries, can shake everything. And this prayer can get us all together. Let us all work together to make this a happy world. But the one small prayer, which we, like in Gurmukhi, in our language, we always say Sarbat Ka Bhala. Whenever we say a prayer in the morning, we say Sarbat Ka Bhala. Means we are praying for the whole universe. We're not praying for ourselves. We're praying for ourselves, plus we're praying for the whole universe. And this is what our Guruji, Gurunanak Dev-ji, the first spiritual leader of our Sikhism, has taught us, that always pray for the whole universe to be happy. Let everybody happy. If everybody's happy, you're happy. You can't be happy alone. And the whole world is suffering. You can't be happy. So if everybody's happy, you're happy. That's the power of the prayer. And what happens mostly in time of crisis, all individuals, where they look to? Look for prayer, look to God. For all the answers which they want to get from God because they are in trouble. But I always say one thing. It's good to pray when you're in trouble, but always necessary to pray when you're not in trouble. And thank the Lord, be grateful to Him. And this way, we can be happy ourselves. And one more thing in Gurmukhi is written this, there's a saying, Man Jeete Jag Jeet, which means if you can control your mind, you can control the world. And the most difficult thing is to control your mind. Because while even you're saying your prayer, your mind goes into all material benefits in life, thinking of where I'm going to have lunch, where I'm going to have dinner, what I'm going to cook for breakfast. But people forget that, that important thing is controlling your mind. If you're able to control your mind, you're able to control the world. And that satisfaction you can get from yourself. When you say a prayer in meditation, do the meditation, be strong, be bold, and never feel that you're doing anything wrong. Do the right thing, because there are three cardinals of Sikhism, is Naam Japna, Van Shakna, and Kirat Karna. Naam Japna means saying the prayer in the morning, taking the name, praising the Lord. And Kirat Karna means earn the rightful way. And Van Shakna means share in your... That's why most of the temples, gurdwaras in the world, we serve free food. Because this is a way of giving back. 550 years ago, when Gurunanak Dev Ji first started giving free food to all the people, from that day, the tradition goes on in every temple in the world. Wherever you go, you can never come back hungry. Because every Gurdwara in the world serves free food. We call it langar. And if none of you have been to a Gurdwara, please go, enjoy a good, hearty meal, and I'm sure you'll be happy. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Mr. Kandhari, for that powerful presentation on the power of prayer. And of course, here at the Faith Pavilion, in some ways, we're preaching to the converted about this, but it's very important to begin with this awareness of the power of prayer. Thank you so much for that. We're now going to go to Miss Audrey Kitagawa. And Miss Audrey's subject is on women as agents of transformation.
Thank you so much, Ben. And, my subject is really about the women as powerful agents of transformation. And of course, everybody in this room, everyone who's tuning in right now, have all been born from the womb of woman. And so it is our first guru, our first teacher is the mother. So it is to the mother that we are bonded, and it is from her breasts that we are suckled, and we receive the nurturing and the guidance. And I want to share that in my life, women have had such a powerful impact upon me. And of course, I had a very powerful and strong mother, and she gave me the guidelines about always telling the truth, never bringing shame or embarrassment to the family's name, which is very important, and we don't steal, and all those things. And of course, she was very, very strict. And I did not appreciate her being so strict. She ran the restaurant business, so I will say that I'm the fastest waitress on either side of the Rocky Mountains. But since she had to give up her education, being the eldest of many children, so she sacrificed her education, as was expected that the women would sacrifice to help support and educate the younger children. So that was what she had to do, to her great disappointment, because she wanted to be a teacher and she couldn't be a teacher. But when she married and started to have children, she said, at least I will know that my children will always be fed if I have a restaurant business. So she made sure that we all had to work in the family business. At the time, I did not appreciate her being so strict with all of us. But when and education for her was extremely important. It was an absolute must that all of her children had to be college educated, because that was not an opportunity that she was provided. But she made a promise to herself that all of her children must go to college. So in any event, her little restaurant sent me to college and then to law school. And within a generation's time, I became a lawyer and had a very successful practice. But her mother was illiterate and was an immigrant from Japan to Hawaii. So just in that one generation's time, 2 generations, my mother was able to educate all 5 children and sent us all to college and graduate schools. So I really have the greatest appreciation and respect for my mother. And thank you. She passed away at age 99. She was working out at the gym 5 days a week at age 95, and she drove her car, until age 95. But in any event, the mother as the role model is exceedingly important in our lives. So our mothers stand on a long history of mothers and great women to bring us to the point we are here today. And I also want to share about the influence of another powerful, powerful woman on my life, and that was my spiritual mother. When I first met her, she looked at me and she said, "You cannot serve 2 masters." And in my heart, I just knew what she meant. She was giving me the spiritual food and the highest transmissions that at the time I did not comprehend what she was giving to me. The gift of the spiritual language and the gift of the language of words that were not familiar to me at the time, but stayed within me. She said, "I am transmitting to you spirit to spirit, heart to heart, infinite to infinite, and not mind to mind. And whatever you receive of these transmissions, they have been imparted within you, and you will be able to have them spontaneously arise as you need them." And she has been totally true to her word. And it is these transmissions of the spirit, the language of the heart, that is so transformative. And when we have the privilege to have someone, to have an enlightened person touch your life, you are no longer the same and you are truly transformed. And one of the powerful things that she said is that women will lead the way, and the age will come for the women to be these agents of powerful transformation. And so it is. The United Nations has had a long history of including women and raising the importance of gender equality. And so we take our hats off to this leading guiding institution. And I just wanted to do a very quick review of the international frameworks that the United Nations has created so that we can understand just how long the United Nations has placed the importance of women on its agenda. And so just very quickly, these international frameworks, over 30 years ago, the UN Earth Summit promoted a gendered perspective in implementing environmental actions. And 28 years ago, the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action named Women and the Environment was one of 12 critical areas for women to participate in. And more recently, in 2018, CEDAW called for gender mainstreaming in all areas and elements of climate change. So let us applaud the United Nations and its powerful work in lifting the profile and the importance of women, and may we all continue to do that. And I thank everybody in this audience, and especially you, Iyad, for your powerful work for Faith for the Environmental, all the faith organizations, Faith for Earth, that you have done to bring us all here today and been so instrumental in creating this historic Faith Pavilion. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Audrey. Beautiful and such heartfelt messages that I think many of us can relate to so deeply and dearly. Thank you for that. We're now going to Ambassador Mussie Hailu from URI Africa. Regional Director, Ambassador Mussie, has a prepared statement, and I think you will read it from the podium. Thank you so much. Please make Ambassador Mussie feel welcome as well, everyone.
Thank you. Dear brothers and sisters, dear colleagues, on behalf of members of United Religions Initiative from diverse religions, spiritual expressions, indigenous traditions and cultures in Africa and the rest of the world, I present you greetings of peace and blessings in the spirit of Ubuntu, which says, I am because of you are. At the outset, I want to thank the organizers of this historic Faith Pavilion during COP28, where many sessions will be organized with many speakers convening to discuss the role of religion in tackling the climate emergency and the underlying priorities. I also want to take this opportunity to express our appreciation and profound gratitude to Dr. Ayad and his entire team at Faith for Earth Initiative of UNEP for the outstanding work you are doing. I think gratitude is very important. Thank you. We fully support and looking forward to enhance further our practical working partnership with Faith for Earth to advance its mission to serve as a platform for dialogue and collaboration between faith communities and environmental organizations, to facilitate discussion, policy dialogue, and knowledge sharing, which are integral to build interfaith collaboration and partnership to take practical action. We highly value the work of Faith for Earth in promoting environmental education within faith community, enabling them to understand the science behind climate change, nature loss, and pollution. This knowledge is crucial for informed advocacy and action. It helps faith leaders and communities engaged with policymakers to drive change at both the local and international levels. As we commence this dialogue, which is very important, faith leaders, scientists, politicians, academia, youth and women organizations have concluded their summit under the theme of Confluence of Conscience, Uniting for Planetary Resurgence in Abu Dhabi. The summit has adopted a collective interfaith statement representing the dire challenge we are dealing with, the common principles of religions, a concrete set of call to action, and a commitment to action by faith institutions. I am happy to inform that the organizers of this panel session endorse and support the Abu Dhabi Interfaith Summit for COP28. United Religion Initiative is a grassroots interfaith organization with consultative status at the United Nations Economic and Social Council. And we are also working very closely with the African Union, and we have also a special MOU with UNEP, and we have been working with Dr. Ayad and his team since the establishment of Faith for Earth Initiative. And URI is working closely and in close partnership with many other organizations in promoting a culture of peace, interfaith cooperation for the good of all, preserving of environment, freedom of religion or belief, restoring human dignity, countering hate speech and violent extremism. And this is something we need to work together as citizens of the world, beyond any trivial differences we have, if we are about to create a better future for this generation and generation yet to come. The main purpose of URI is to promote enduring daily interfaith cooperation, to promote a culture of peace, justice, and healing for the earth and all living beings. Faith-based organizations play a significant role at local, regional, and global levels in engaging and impacting communities, and they can significantly address climate change, biodiversity loss, pollution, desertification, and unsustainable land and water use by fostering a fundamental change in the attitude of the majority people. They can do so through their own institutions and communities, and through cooperation with other cultures, beliefs, and value systems. Therefore, more than ever, religious leaders, faith-based and interfaith organizations, and spiritual groups need to work in close partnership in the spirit of Ubuntu. With Faith for Earth of UNEP, PART, and Muslim Council of Elders, and many other organizations on the issue of environmental protection, climate change, and addressing the problem of air pollution, and support the effort for practical solution. It's high time to walk the talk and taking practical action. It's also with this in mind that the different organizations came together to organize this panel session, the different organizations that we are partnering. Why faith-based organization works in the preservation of environment matters. According to UNEP, faith organizations control 8% of the Earth's habitable land, 5% of commercial forests, and 10% of financial institutions. This gives faith-based organizations a potential outsized role in the battle to combat poverty, reverse environmental degradation, and limit climate change. Different religions of the world have traditionally expressed ethical concern for the environment in what's called now the Green Rule. They have accorded moral significance to other creatures and proposed ethical responsibilities. The world's religions have understood the earth to have some kind of religious significance or religious value, and that humans have religious obligation to care for its creatures. These shared ethical concerns are found in historical teaching. Greed and destructiveness are condemned, while restraint and protection are affirmed by most religious and indigenous traditions. Selected from many of the world's great religious texts and spiritual teaching, the Green Rule was chosen to demonstrate that each religion and spiritual philosophy has a long-standing tradition of ecological stewardship. Inspired by the Golden Rule, the Green Rule draws on scriptures from different religions to advance environmental protection as a universal principles based on the message of the Green Rule, which says, I quote, "Do unto the earth as you would have it do unto you," end of quote. Let us work together in partnership in promoting the Green Rule teaching and to act based on its core message for the restoration of Mother Earth and New Earth. As the report of UNEP indicated, air pollution is everywhere. 9 out of 10 people worldwide are exposed to levels of air pollution that exceed safe levels set by World Health Organization. WHO predicts that unmitigated climate change will lead to significant increase to illness and deaths brought on by environmental challenge. So our work is really a matter of life and death. The Almighty God, Allah, the Divine, is not joking with us. It's high time to be more practical. We are endangering life on Earth with dangerous level of greenhouse gas emission. These gases are destabilizing the global climate system, heating the Earth, acidifying the ocean, and putting both humanity and all living creatures at an acceptable risk. As it is stated, healthy environment is the foundation of human life and human dignity. But we are putting the planet under enormous pressure by depleting the Earth's natural resource, polluting its air and water, destabilizing the climate, and driving many of its species to extinction. We need to accept the reality of the common danger our world faces, and all of us need to take practical action. With this reality in mind, dear brothers and sisters and colleagues, we all need to work together in partnership in addressing the issue of climate change and air pollution, and the preservation of nature and its ecosystem. Let us walk the talk and work together in the effort to preserve Mother Earth for this generation and generation yet to come. May peace, Green Rule, compassion, human dignity prevail on Earth. and let's join hands together as citizens of the world, beyond any trivial differences we have in terms of place of birth, color, or creed, as I said earlier, to create a better legacy for this generation and generation yet to come. I have a colleague of mine, Lauren, who would have loved to be here. Lauren is the Climate Action Coordinator for United Religions Initiative. Along the three main areas, she sent a very brief message to all of you, and allow me to read this very short message. Greetings to all of you. This is a message from Lauren, from the Holland Lands and Baxter Creek watershed in California, where I call home. My name is Lauren Van Ham, and I have the privilege of serving the United Religion Initiative in the role of Climate Action Earth Restoration. In keeping with the theme of the Dubai Convergence, the power of prayer, women as agents of transformation, and sacred activism for sustainability, I offer these three invitations. Invitation 1, every day around the world, across the URI network and beyond, thousands of grassroots projects are taking place in the name of Earth healing, climate justice, and global peace building. Let us recognize each of these as a prayer that it is, as a blessing that it is, whether defining the right of the river, helping young trees to thrive, protecting an endangered species, or using more renewable energy. Let us fortify our prayers by embracing this act with more joy, more love, more devotion toward our Mother Earth and the divine gift that's creatures. Invitation 2, last year an impact assessment completed at URI revealed that the more women and youth are involved in a local project, the more attention is given to caring for local habitat. There is plenty of data and lived experience that illustrates when women farmers are encouraged to thrive by using regenerative farming practice, that the land is healthier, hunger decreases, and the local economy is strong. Women bring an internal related vision to meeting our interrelated crisis. Let us look for every more ways to center and elevate the transformative change women are bringing to their labor and love of this world. Last but not least, invitation 3, I believe it's our interreligious and multicultural collaboration that is sacred activism of this moment. Every person is invited. We need each person's gift and insight so that we might innovate mindfully and creatively. Interreligious collaboration illustrates not only work among diverse faiths, but also those who are most often diminished by dominant system, that is children, women, indigenous, differently able, and so forth. When we work across our perceived differences, we learn things and we widen our collective reach. Let us acknowledge that we all are more resilient and that our action is more potent when we serve together to protect the things we all care about, our water, our air, the lands we call home, our children. My gratitude to Ben Bowler, Unity Earth and partners for co-creating this convergence of sacred intention setting. Like you, I am praying for a truly constructive, thoughtful COP28. In closing, I extend prayers of peace, protection, health, and wholeness for all people and all species. May beauty, goodness, and well-being ripple out today in all directions, filling those of us who have the ability to take action, ensuring a safe and regenerated world for the generation yet to come. May it be so. May peace prevail on earth. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ambassador Mussie, and thank you to Lauren Van Hem as well for those beautiful words. Thank you so much. We are on this theme of the power of prayer, the role of women as agents of transformation, as powerful agents of transformation, and sacred activism and its contributions to this sustainability. So really couldn't be more perfect than to have you with us, Xiye Bastida, because really sacred activism and the role that you're playing on the global stage is such a critical one and a key one. So we're very fortunate and blessed to have you with us here today, and we'd love to hear your perspective on any or all of these issues.
Hello. Thank you so much for the space, and thank you all for your beautiful words, and I look forward to listening to you as well. My name is Xiye Bastida, and I am a 21-year-old climate justice activist. I come from the highlands of central Mexico, from a community called the Otomi Toltec indigenous community from San Pedro Tultepec. And as Ben said earlier, I'm here on behalf of my father. My dear grandmother passed away last week, and she told me, keep doing what you're doing, keep using your voice, keep speaking about what your heart tells you, because you are a channel. And I believe that's what we all are. We're channeling something. We're bringing truth to those who cannot see it. And she lived a very full life. She had 10 children and over 50 grandchildren. And what I want, what she wanted, she was also uneducated. She couldn't read or write, just like your grandmother. And she got all of my uncles and aunts through school as well. And I'm here because my grandmother was able to do that for my father. So another example of powerful women who gave it all for their legacy. And that's who we must be as well. The beings who did it all for our legacy. And that's a responsibility that I feel. So with sacred activism, that goes really in line. What I would like to share today is from my indigenous community, our language, Otomi Ñañu. The word for skin in our language is the same as the word for the outer layer of the earth. The message there is, when you hurt the earth, you're hurting yourself. And we see ourselves as extensions of the earth. We see our purpose on this earth to take care of life, because Mother Earth has given us everything that we need to survive and thrive. We must remember that every breath that we have ever taken, every step, every bite is only possible because Mother Earth makes it possible. So what are we doing to give back that energy? What are we doing to be here with purpose? What are we doing to make sure that future generations can also pray? What are we doing to make sure that future generations can gather? That future generations can connect? That future generations can remember us as their ancestors and be proud of what we brought them. So we're not here just honoring everything that had to happen for us to have a faith, for us to have a calling, but also preparing for the future generations that will remember us and will have stories about us. So when we walk this path, we must know that those stories are going to come from our actions. And when my grandkid turns 20, they're going to say my grandmother was there in the climate negotiations, making sure that I had a future. And all of the climate models only go till the year 2100. My grandkids are going to be alive in 2100. And what is their life going to look like? What is their prayer going to look like? What are they going to be praying for? All I can know is that they will be praying for Mother Earth to be healthy so that we can be healthy. So I really see our path as one of responsibility and one where we must settle into reciprocity. Who remembers when the Mayan people said that it was said that they interpreted that the world was going to end in 2012? That was actually the end of a cycle, the end of a calendar. And there is a gap of 26 years between that cycle and the next cycle to begin. And that cycle started in 2013. And so what we are on from the Mayan people's understanding is the transition between one calendar cycle to the other. And it was said, the prophecy said, that this was years of transformation and years of hardship. And that is something that we must embody when we do our work, that we're in this path till 2026. Oh, it's 13 years. I don't know why I said 26. It's 13 years, from 2013 to 2026. Much better. Yes, shorter time. It's 13 years of transformation, 13 years of reminding people that our purpose is to heighten consciousness. And for that, we need to deepen our understanding. So I want to go off of what Mr. Kandhari said, which is really understanding prayer. Because one thing is to say a prayer, and another thing is to understand it, and to channel it, and to walk your life as if we love the earth, as if we are sure of what legacy we're going to be bringing. I'll end with a short, I would call it prayer as well, that an elder of mine shared with me. Datu panukenuhoy afidi inseren saki, kamwiwi mawiwi nansaki marazo, danun moshu mahoiho. I bring you the earth, beginning and end of life. If you have ever dreamed, let's dream for a better life for Mother Earth. And that for me is really about channeling our power of imagination, the fact that anything that exists today was imagined by someone. So if we have the courage to imagine a world of unity, then we can walk a path towards it. Thank you all.
Amazing, amazing. Xiye Bastida. One more time, everybody. Put your hands together for Xiye Bastida. You know, there's an interesting relationship between hope and confidence. And they're not the same thing. We need hope when it's in the darkest moments. But let me tell you a little analogy, a story about confidence. If you're running to catch a bus and you're a little bit late and you see the bus coming to the bus stop, and if it gets to a point when you give up believing that you're going to make it to the bus stop in time, what do? You stop running. You stop. You slow down. But if you keep believing that you could make it, if you start to have confidence that you're going to get there in time, what do? You give everything. You give everything. And then something amazing happens. Either you make the bus, or the bus driver will see you in the mirror running your heart out, and the bus will stop and pick you up. But this is the difference between just hope and confidence. And Xiye, I want to say, having your presence and your activism, for all of us, it gives us another level of confidence that this transition that we're making isn't just something we hope for, even isn't just something we pray for, but something that we have confidence that we are doing together.
You can hear me? Oh, on that, I think it's very interesting that you use that analogy, because there is an African proverb that I love which says, the youth run the fastest, but the elders know the path. So it's that understanding that we need to have as the youth movement, that we are excited, we have all these ideas, we are even angry about the state of the world, and we have all this energy to change the world, but we cannot be naive and think that we can do it without the wisdom of elders and those who have changed things and those who have understood things differently than us. So our commitment is to bring that energy, to bring that spirit of we have to catch that bus, but knowing that some paths are better than others, and we need to listen and have that intergenerational collaboration, which is so different than what we used to say at the beginning of the youth movement, which was, you're stealing our future. And we have to switch that around and say, how do we create a better world together? So thank you for that analogy.
Well said. Beautiful. Fantastic. So good. And we're so blessed here. We have another young, dynamic, global leader, Salman, I think you still classify as youth, or on the way to becoming a very beloved elder as well. But a tremendous spiritual ministry. 28 generations. 26 generations since Salman Chishty in Ajmer, Shareef, in Rajasthan. And we're very honored and very blessed and graced by your presence today, Salman Chishty.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام عليك سيد المرسلين ورحمة للعالمين. Greeting of peace, adab, salam, satrikal Shalom to everybody here. I extend our gratitude and regards to COP28 leadership. Faith for Earth, UNEP, Mr. Riyadh is here, Ministry of Tolerance, and all the partners here who have enabled us to come together. COP28 is unique in a sense that the Faith Pavilion is the first initiative that has been initiated. So I would share something that has brought us together in the theme of faith and as Ben has mentioned about hope, which is so important. So with this extension of gratitude, today, as we have gathered in this radiant city of Dubai for the COP28, it is an honor to address all of you on the theme of World Cultures Unite in calling for the genuine transformation. From the perspective of Islamic spiritual tradition and mystical understandings. As Islamic spiritual traditions, a faith that spans continents and cultures, emphasize the interconnectedness of humanity and the responsibility bestowed upon us the stewards of this earth. In the Holy Quran, God emphasized on the stewardness of this earth as it declares, "It is He who has made you successor upon the earth." This profound words underscore our role as caretakers entrusted with well-being of the planet and all its inhabitants. The verse encourages reflection upon the signs of nature as a means to deepen our understanding of the Creator's wisdom. In Surah Al-Baqarah, verses 205, it's stated, "And when he goes away, he strives throughout the land to cause corruption therein and destroy crops and animals. And God does not like those who create corruption." These verses remind us of our duties to prevent corruption and harm to the environment. And the city, which is blend tradition of innovation and tradition, is a testament of the spiritual practices and principles of balance in the Islamic spiritual religion, which is called the mizan, creating a balance. It is that we unite to address the urgent need to genuine transformation, as the Prophet, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, exemplified moderation and encouraged responsible stewardship. The world is sweet and green, and verily God is going to install you as a vicegerent in order to see you, how you act and preserve. These tradition teaches us to approach everyone with compassion and understanding. Our diversity in culture is a testament of the creative powers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Creator. And it is our diversity that finds us the strength. In Surah Al-Hujurat, Allah mentions that the believers are the brothers, so make settlement between the communities and the brotherhood, and fear God that you may receive the mercy for the good that you do. To conclude our remarks, as we have come together with Unity Earth initiatives and this COP28, let us embark on this transformative journey with the Quranic principles of stewardship, justice, and compassion as our guide. Together, let us strive for the genuine transformation that reflects the universal values embedded in our diverse cultures and that we celebrate as unity in diversity coming from the land of India. Coming from Ajmer Shareef, as Ben has mentioned about the sacred trust that has been bestowed upon us from last 800 years. One of the profound teachings of Khwaja Gharib Nawaz Mohiuddin Chishti, who is known as the patron of the poor, has taught us that if we want to be close to the Creator, develop 3 attributes of nature into your being, into your daily way of serving, which is sun-like grace, river-like generosity, and earth-like hospitality. If we develop these 3 attributes of nature into our being, we never make any differences and division upon whom we are serving. As a message from Khwaja Gharib Nawaz, that's all faith. From all faith comes to the Darbar, as Surender Sahib has mentioned about the importance of serving food. The langar traditions is so essential to the Sufi tradition and all the Darbars and the Dargahs that even today, people from all faith comes and they are served food. And irrespective of their background, the only question that is asked them that how can we serve you? Never ask anybody's name, their religion, their language, their nation, where they come from. If we have to ask them any question, just ask one question: how can we serve you? With all sincerity and honesty and integrity. If with that noble intention, because God is knower of our intention, because all our actions are based upon the noble intention, and today with the world in a turmoil, in challenges, we are all here with some noble intentions, and I'm sure those will be reflection in times to come. And as a young Sheena has mentioned about the future generation, I think it is very important to reflect upon these teachings, that what are these responsibilities as a sacred trust that we have been bestowed upon us, and what we are going to bestow to the future generation. I would conclude the remarks with, again, a beautiful teachings of Rumi, which really emphasize on keeping the door of hope open wherever we are, wherever we go, which says in Masnawi, Baza baza haranche hasti baza, sadbar gar tauba shikasti baza, ey dargah ma na umidi nist, ey dargah ma umidast, umidast, umidast. So Mr. Yad, with your presence, I would just translate this, that where Rumi invokes us that, come, come, come. Whoever you are, come. Even if you have broken your vows of repentance 100 times, come. Our doors are not the doors of despair. Our doors are the doors of hope, hope, and hope. Inshallah, we pray to that continue to live with this hope and strive for betterment, and as a gift, as a stewardship of this gift, sacred trust, pass on to our younger generation. And we hope in young people like you. And really glad that, of course, we are missing your father, but you are a perfect, in position to share his words with all of us, as well as millions who are viewing this online at this moment. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Yad, and everybody who are part of this organizational skill. Thank you very much. Adab, salam, and greeting of peace. Thank you.
Magnificent. Magnificent, Salman. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that beautiful presentation. And thank you for bringing Mevlana Rumi in as well. So wonderful. I'm reminded of the parable of the talents. In the Christian tradition, we have this parable of the talents. And people might be blessed with certain attributes, certain gifts, certain wealth, or certain resources, or just characteristics. But the question really is, what do we do with them? If we have a charisma, a gift of some kind, do we use it to serve ourselves for fame and fortune? Or do we use it to help heal the earth and for peace and for unity and for sustainability? And I just want to say Rocky Dawuni is a man with a lot of talent who has made a lifelong commitment to really serving and sharing and using that charisma and that musical ability, musicianship, songwriter, to really bring people together, to bring cultures together, and to help heal the earth. He's been a UNEP Goodwill Ambassador for some years now, and it's really, we're so honored, Rocky, that you're here with us today, and looking forward to hearing your reflections.
Thank you all for an amazing opportunity to gather here, and also the opportunity to elevate faith as an important part of the work of environmental activism and awareness. Many of us grew up and were influenced and born of a certain level of faith. Growing up in Ghana, I come from a family where my mother was Christian and my father was Muslim. So we had an opportunity of a household where we were brought up on respect for the prophet, and also at the same time too, knowledge of Christianity. So the understanding and our perspective of the world was one that every action that we took, every walk, every breath was guided by the divine will. I always like to say that a big number of the world, a big part of the population of the world, come from some level of faith. So there could be no talk of the environment, no talk of solving these issues without really accessing that aspect of our commonality. I try to use, when you think about it, Eden, when God created, if you subscribe to the vision of Christianity, God put man and woman in Eden. It was a garden. It was a place of trees. It was a place of biodiversity. It was a place where everything that we wanted was provided. So our journey has to be in terms of knowing that if we lose the aspect of our environment and the place where we are born and the place that was originally bestowed upon us, then we lose our journey altogether. So as a musician, I have always had this to be a guiding principle for all that I do. Stewardship of the earth is something that is our individual responsibility and at the same time our collective responsibility. Because the earth provides us with oxygen, it provides us with food. The buildings that we build is from the earth. There is nothing that man or humanity has created that was not of the earth. Science, even, is really an imitation of creation. So, in this time that we are, I believe that elevating the common faith that we all share, honoring the common faith that we all share, finding the commonalities that bind all of us is really an integral part of forging a collective vision forward for the crossroads that we are in today as a whole human family. I grew up also, my father was came from an indigenous traditional line. So one of the things that we always knew was that you don't live for yourself. You live for your community. And for you to create a lasting legacy, when you work for the community, that legacy becomes eternal. So sitting here today, listening to various spiritual leaders, the talk of prayer, the talk of activism, the talk of empowerment of women, all of these are part of what strengthens a community. And all of these are also messages that when you go to every aspect of our faith, every manifestation of Holy Scriptures, you can see all of these information there. So right now, we are looking for direction. Right now, the world is looking for direction. Everywhere in the UN, they talk of direction, they talk of hope. But the Faith Pavilion is it's a recent addition to our fight at a time when the world is confronted with the most critical problems. The faith of humanity, our prayers, our collective prayers, Muslim prayers. Even when I came here last night, I was sleeping, and then at dawn, I heard the call of prayer. The call of prayer, I remember growing up in Ghana, was the call of life. When you hear the call of prayer, you're alive. When you hear the call of prayer, that means God has called you to go to live. And that was what I was reminded of our meeting here. We're all meeting here to forge a collective path. We're meeting here to inspire each other. We're meeting here to understand that although we come from various faiths, we are united by our belief in a higher power. And I strongly believe that higher power points to our humanity. So every decision and every pathway and every ideas that are shared here, if we lose sight of our humanity, then we lose sight of everything. And I was very inspired to hear my sister speak, my young sister, as I call her. I heard her speak. I was at the United Nations General Assembly earlier this year, and during Global Citizen, she was on stage, and she spoke. And there was a joy in my heart because I knew her father. And also, the joy in my heart was really an expression of that continuity, that if we don't empower the youth with what we do, then how do we ensure the continuity of our message? So, to see the youth embrace the message and articulate it in a way that was inspirational, empowering, and at the same time, too, pointing us in a direction, it showed me that hope is the primary ingredient and currency that we should all aspire for. I've also been reading a lot of reports about this crisis that we're in. In a lot of the crisis, there's doom and gloom. If you're not careful and you read some of these reports, you might bury your head in the sand and give up. But humanity, every aspect of our challenges, we have overcome those challenges by really amplifying that power of our collective hope. So I'm really honored today to be here because faith has been put in the forefront of our conversations. God has been pushed to the forefront of our conversations. Because if we come here and we are talking about the future, and we are talking about a pathway forward, and we don't take into consideration what really makes us believe, what really makes us trust that we will wake up every day and we can still keep going, then we have lost our way. So thank you very much for this opportunity to be here, to share with you my perspective, and at the same time, too, the opportunity to listen to our elders, the opportunity to listen to aspects and perspective and wisdom of my fellow brothers, because it's going to take all of us contributing meaningfully and having a seat at the table of humanity for us to be able to forge a pathway forward. It does not matter whether you are a Muslim, a Christian, traditional African. What matters is that how does our faith make us believe in the power of humanity? And I think we are a testament of that possibility. And I think that our voice and the deliberations that are going to come out of here will be an important ingredient and catalyst to move the world forward as we step towards finding a solution to this crisis. Thank you very much.
All right. Yes, Brother Rocky. Thank you so much. And just wonderful reflections. We hear, 7 individuals here representing in some ways one droplet of the diversity of humanity. And I just want to build on everything that Rocky and everyone has shared and talk about faith and unity. Because we know, don't we, it's going to take a unity and a solidarity and a collaboration, unprecedented global unity in order to make this shift, make this transition, to catch this bus. We are forced to come together. We cannot be retreating into our silos, pulling up the drawbridges, going back into separation and the illusion of safety. This doesn't exist. We cannot be doing that. We are forced to come together in unity. And if we look at the great spiritual traditions, even that are represented here, all of them were unifiers. We go back to Gurunanak. He was a unifier, brought people together. We look at Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, brought the people together under one God. We look at Rumi, the spirituality of Muhyiddin Chishti. This is unity consciousness. Jesus prayed for unity. May they be one as you and I are one. Unity and faith are each other's hands and hearts of the same body. So this, to be here from the Unity Earth delegation and all of our partners at the Faith Pavilion, is a match made in heaven. And as we go forward from here, we look forward to hearing some of the insights as we have a couple of minutes each to just go and sort of wrap up. We also have a presentation from Professor Peter Blaise, which we will close with. And maybe if we can convince Rocky to close with a song, that would be wonderful as well. But Mr. Kandhari, as you've heard this wonderful reflections and intergenerational, intercultural cooperation and sharing, what strikes you as something that you'd like to reflect?
I personally think if we're able to understand each other, respect each other, and accept each other, then we have won the war. The most important thing is ego has to be let go. Let the E go. Unless it has the E to go, the ego is the one problem today we are facing in this world. Yeah. And if you all I think if we all understand each other, I think that solves all the problem. Any problem in the world can be solved with dialogue. And I personally believe that we faith leaders must influence our great leaders in the world to understand that we all have to live together, live happily together, and make this a happy world. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Drop the E. So we'll drop the E and just go. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Miss Audrey, for you, this has been such a rich sharing across the platform today. What strikes you as something you're left with as we close day one of the Faith Pavilion soon, and also this panel? But what's top of mind or top of heart for you right now?
Thank you so much, Ben, and thank you, everyone, for being here today. You know, what really strikes me is the call to service, because basically we're all instruments in the divine hand, expressing the divine will in all of the ways that we can lift each other up, help each other to the heart of loving kindness, compassion, and understanding for each other. So these are the different ways that we are called to be present. And here in COP28, the call to serve humanity through service to the earth. And, you know, our home, the one home that we all have, means that her wellness is our wellness. And her being degraded is our degradation. So earth, in traditions, many traditions, is the mother, she, the she principle. And so it is very important that the Mother Earth is well taken care of. You know, she has nurtured us throughout generations and eons. And so it is very important that we in turn learn about the importance of the stewardship and to have the respect and honor of her sacredness, and do nothing to desecrate her, for to desecrate her is to desecrate all of ourselves. We are integral to the environment. And so service to each other and to our Mother Earth is of primary importance. So thank you.
Beautiful, Audrey. Service, so heartfelt and so pure. We mentioned some of the religious leaders before. Also, the indigenous wisdom traditions is something that is such an incredible resource. If you look at what I know through your father, the wisdom of the Otomo people, the idea of we've lost the original instructions somewhere along the way. We've lost that original foundational unity, which is our very state, and that we're on a path of the unification process to which your father has given his life. So the wisdom, the traditions, inclusive of all of our ancient indigenous cultures. I am from Australia, the oldest living culture on earth, going back over 50,000 years of continual wisdom and culture and a high civilization of the Aboriginal people. So we have blessed with so many resources coming through all these rivers, all these streams, through all the great minds and hearts and beings that have gone before us, our ancestors. We heard today the acknowledging of our mothers and our grandmothers. and just feeling all of that presence with us today as we come together as one human family and make this transition in confidence, with hope, and together in solidarity. We have arrived at the beginning in a very powerful way. So, Ambassador Mussie, we'd love to hear your comments, dear brother, as we come to the end of the beginning.
Thank you. To me, a call to action to work together for the preservation of Mother Earth and all beings. As the proverb in Africa says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. So partnership in action is the only way forward in the spirit of SDG 17. But again, as I said earlier, it's high time for us to walk the talk, and there should be harmony between what we say and what we do. Thank you.
Thank you, dear brother. Thank you. And Xiye, for you, in closing, your comments of this beautiful sharing so far today. We'd love to hear your final reflections.
I think for my final reflections, I'll share a little story that brought me great insight. A few months ago, I was in Canada, about 10 hours north from Vancouver. And there's a little beach that we were walking with a group that got together from the climate movement to hold space and slow down and meditate and just really bring back what is missing, I think, in a larger climate space, which is groundingness. And we're so kind of obsessed with this innovation that we forget to remember. We forget to remember that a lot of the things that we need are already existing in our consciousness. And remembering not only means to, something in our minds, but also in our bodies. How do we remember ourselves to be whole and our communities, right? So I was walking down this beach and I realized that every time you step on the sand, you can leave a footstep. And if you step really hard on the sand, your footprint will be marked. And I remember how many times I've heard, leave your mark, leave your mark. But it felt like you were kind of really, being egotistical in a way and just saying like, I want to make sure that the world knows that I was here. Versus if you walk slowly and with love, your footstep will kind of vanish, but you will still make it to where you need to be. You will still make it across the beach and to the water. So I thought, why are we so obsessed with leaving our mark when we can make it to our destination walking with softness? And I thought, that is how I want to walk my life, not just always wanting to make sure that I'm actually making a footprint on earth, which might hurt her, but walking with softness to honor her and still making it to where we need to be. So that is something that I would like to share with all of you. Walking to our destination with softness, with love. And we will leave our mark not by actually imprinting it on the earth and modifying the earth, but by walking a spiritual path of connection and really, really getting to our goal faster because our vision is over there, not here. Thank you.
Magnificent. Thank you very much. I think that deserves a round of applause. You've been welcome. Walking with softness. That's a lot of takeaways to come from this discussion today. Thank you, Xiye. Brother Salman Chishty, in closing today.
Well, it's been a very profound experience to be here, and the closing remarks and reflection would be most importantly to reflect upon the shared commitments. And as today, we know that we are not alone. The world is conscious to these longings and belongings that we need to honor the sacred trust today. In this very venue, we have the world leader committing. I'm sure those will have deeper reflections. But as an individual, and we are all as a collective consciousness, we must commit ourselves of learning something new, and that contributes to the sustainability by understanding how to reuse the resources which have been provided us by the Creator. As one of the noble teachings of the Prophet, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is that one must strive to learn something new each day. Even if you learn to put a nail into the wall, learn something new each day so that our today is better than yesterday and our tomorrow would be better than today. If we don't learn something new in a day, then that day and those breaths are wasted. And we are not here to be wasted. We are here to acknowledge and make every breath as a remembrance and zikr of God, that it takes us closer to the Creator by serving the creation. Thank you.
MashaAllah. Thank you, thank you. Please put hands together as well for Salman Chishty. And Brother Rocky, your thoughts as we're closing this part of it. We'll hear from Professor Peter Blaise Corcoran, and then maybe a song to finish.
Thank you very much. I believe that one of the most important things that can be a big takeaway. Hello. One of the most important things that can be a big takeaway from this timely gathering of humanity here is the elevation of the understanding that our earth and our home is sentient too. And as much as we see ourselves as living beings, here we are, millions of living beings on this living entity. But we don't recognize that we are walking on a living entity that gives us everything. And it feels as we feel. And it hurts as we hurt. So our actions, every action that we take, we have to also think about this entity that we get to survive on. How does this entity also feel? And I believe that that will also be a means of really elevating the consciousness that creation, if we want to honor God's creation, then we have to be great stewards of this creation, and we have to be worthy of it. Because our worthiness will be measured by how sensitive we are, we treat each other, how we treat other sentient beings, how we treat other parts of nature, how we treat the water that we drink, how we treat the trees that we cut, how we treat all the animals that make part of this creation. We have been given a noble opportunity to be guardians, but I believe that we have fallen short in our efforts. And we are seeing the products and the results, but all is not lost. And I believe that it could be the knowledge that this earth is also watching our every step, could be the knowledge that will also ignite the mass consciousness that we need to know that we have to do right by every step. We have to do right by everything that we do. We have to elevate self-interest from our ultimate goal to be worthy to be of this earth. We are all special. Everybody that is born is special. Everybody that is born is a possibility out of millions. So to be on earth is a privilege of nature, it's a privilege from God, and we need to honor that. And I believe that if we do that, that will change our direction and elevate the power of hope in our march forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Rocky. Thank you. Yes. Wonderful reflections. We have about 10 minutes to go, and then we'll finish up. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. Professor Blaise Corcoran is with us, and Professor Peter Blaise Corcoran. Peter Blaise was working on his presentation, waiting for the Blue Zone pass, which came through this morning. So we're wonderful to have you with us, Peter Blaise. And we're sharing on a very important subject about youth climate anxiety, and we look forward to your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dubai Convergence colleagues. No talk, just a comment or two in the interest of time. I'm dressed like this because I spent the morning with young people planting mangroves with the green shakes. So then the pass came through. So I just wanted to say that as a bit of a sober reminder that in addition to the climate crisis, which takes our attention, one of my areas of research is youth climate anxiety. And we have a youth climate anxiety crisis as well. And the research is very sobering. It's global research now. This affects young people all over the world in terms of their sense of efficacy, their concern about the future, their feelings of betrayal. And that those feelings of betrayal include not only governments and educators and adults in general, but also by the faith community, by religious leaders who are not speaking to this issue. So it's a bit of a sober note to end on, but I think what I'd like to say is that the voices that we've just heard give us hope that intergenerational outreach, intergenerational solidarity, intergenerational collaboration is really possible and gives hope to all generations. So thank you. What a wonderful contribution you've made.
Beautiful. Thank you, Peter Blaise Corcoran. And I'd just like to take the opportunity to thank everybody for being. Did you have something, someone? Yes? Okay. Okay. So I'd like to thank the panel who have come, you know, like all of you, or most of you, great distances to be here. And somebody once said 90% of success is showing up. I think it might have been Woody Allen, but it doesn't really matter who said it. It's true. And just being here and showing up, thank you. Thank you, Salman, for coming from Ajmer, Shareef. Thank you, Xiye, for coming and being here from Mexico, from the Americas. And thank you for hosting us and welcoming us here. And Audrey from Honolulu, it's about as far away from Dubai, you can still be on the same planet, is Honolulu, who came all this way just to really be with you today and to give this for the Faith Pavilion, and Ambassador Mussie Hailu, who came from Ethiopia, myself from Australia. So please, Rocky from Ghana, who came all this way to bless us with his wisdom and his music. So thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.
The song that I want to share is really in line with all the conversations that we've had today. It's about celebrating who we are. Because if we don't celebrate all of us as diverse parts of the beauty of God's creation and honor our role, each of us, in our difference, in our commonalities, as beautiful expressions of the divine. So this song is called Beautiful People. And you know, like every song, when you can sing, you sing along, right? Whoa, yeah, let me hear you say, yeah, whoa, yeah, whoa, I dedicate this song to you, my beautiful people. My beautiful people, come and sing along, yeah. Here I come with my song, oh beautiful people. My beautiful people, come and sing along, yeah. But there are many things we cannot hide. There are many bonds that can be undone. Just like our bond, yeah. Everything in life is a sacrifice, but I know it was worth the price, for I did it for you. I dedicate this song to you, my beautiful people. My beautiful people, come and sing along, yeah. Here I come with the love of beautiful people. My beautiful people, come and sing along, yeah. From every corner we'll be rising, from every channel we'll be singing, and you know I did it for you.
so I sacrifice for you. Whoa, I dedicate this song to you, my beautiful people. Come on, sing. My beautiful people, come and sing along, yeah. Here I come with the love of beautiful people, my beautiful people. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Come on, let's go, everybody, let's go with me. La 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la. From every corner we'll be blasting, from every channel we'll be blasting, and you know I did it for you. You know that music is a language to free us from every bondage. So I sacrifice for you. Whoa, I dedicate this song to you, my beautiful people. My beautiful people, come and sing along, yeah. Let me see your hands in the air, everybody. Here I come with the love of beautiful people. My beautiful people. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Let me see you raise your hands, everybody. You gotta show your hands. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Dedicate to you, my beautiful people, my beautiful people, come and sing along, yeah. All together, my people, I dedicate this song to you, my beautiful people, my beautiful people, come and sing along, yeah. One more time, top of your voice, my beautiful people. My beautiful people, come and sing along, yeah. Now all together now. I dedicate this song to you, my beautiful people, my beautiful people. Thank you. God bless us all. God bless us all. Now let's go and change the world. Yes.
Wonderful.
My brother.